Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a level 20 College of Spirits Bard build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. This will also be a multi-class because after you get to level 15, it kind of falls off. We're going to make this even stronger. So this is a mod made by Ellipsoid314 here, and the College of Spirit Bards allows you to tell a tale from the beyond. This gives a randomized buff to your team, and what's cool about this is it can be chosen once you get to higher levels. It can also apply debuffs to the enemies, and overall it's just an absolute blast to play. So I'll be taking you through the full build guide in this video. Now for our cantrips, Vicious Mockery. Oi! I love this one, it's just a lot of fun. And then we're going with the Mage Hand. Now for our spells, it's nice to have Healing Word, Dissonant Whispers for the psychic damage and fear, Thunder Wave if you can push an enemy off a cliff, and then the Long Strider for the increased 3 meters movement speed. For our ability scores, we're going to build around Dexterity and Charisma, so 16 Dex, 14 Constitution, 10 Intelligence and Wisdom, and 16 Charisma. And have skill proficiencies for sure in Persuasion and Deception. These are going to be the face roll skills, so you definitely want to have those available. So I'll also be covering the best gear options as well as combat in this video, so you can stay tuned for that. We got some good things coming here. Now at level 2, we get to add half a proficiency bonus to ability checks you're not proficient in, and the Song of Rest, giving us a free short rest. Now we get to choose ourselves another spell, and we'll just go for something like Sleep or Fairy Fire. There's nothing really super useful that we need here. We're already going to get those at later levels. So level 3, we get to choose our subclass, and we're going with the College of Spirits, which gives us those tales from the beyond, which allows us to tell a tale as a bonus action and randomize effects. We also get the Guiding Whispers, which is basically just guidance, and we get to choose a level 2 spell. Hold Person is probably the best choice here. Shatter can also be nice for a bit of damage early game, as well as Cloud of Daggers, because this does not require any type of thing to hit. Anyone that walks through it takes damage, so it's guaranteed. But we're going to be focusing mostly on playing to a College of Spirits like build. Now once we get ourselves to level 4 here, we get ourselves another cantrip. So you got Mistress Spells. The Thunderclaps are a pretty nice one, but we can also go with something Minor Illusion. And for the spells that we're going to be selecting at next level, we can again go with the Cloud of Daggers or Shatter here. Those are two good choices. And also Invisibility can be nice, or Knock is actually also useful at times. Ability score improvement for our feet to take up our Charisma to 18. This is going to be our main spell casting modifier as well. We can get a weapon later on that's going to use our Charisma for attack rolls. And at level 5 here, we get ourselves our inspiration back on long or short rest. Bardic Inspiration will increase to a 1d8, and we get to choose a level 3 spell with some very powerful ones like Glyph of Warding. We also got Plant Growth in Fear, which can make enemies drop their weapons. You can pick them up and they become pretty useless at that point. Glyph of Warding is nice though, because we can set this up outside of combat for some extra damage. At level 6, we get our Counter Charm, and we also get a ton of different actions here. So we get the Spirit Session, so temporarily learn a divination or necromancy spell from any class. The Hunter's Mark, these are some of the Spirit Sessions that you can get. Detect Thoughts, Speak with Animals, See Invisibility, False Life, Inflict Wounds, Ray of Sickness, Vampiric Touch, Speak with the Dead, Revivify, Feign Death, Bestow Curse, Animate Dead, Ray of Enfeeblement, and Blindness. And we also get our subclass feature. Your healing spells heal an additional 1d6 of healing, and our damage spells do an additional 1d6, so pretty strong. Now at this next level, I think Fear or Plant Growth are best. Plant Growth is dangerous if there's fire around because it'll burn it up, but Fear can just make a group of enemies fearful, drop their weapons, you pick them up. Now at level 7, we get ourselves another choice in spell, with level 4 spells being available. Confusion being one of the best because you can make enemies just get confused and attack each other. That is very useful for just shutting them all down. Now at level 8 here, we get our choice in another spell, so we can get things like Greater Invisibility, which is nice for just hiding out. Plant Growth again for crowd control without having a concentration. And we get another feat, which I would recommend just taking up Charisma to 20. Now once we make our way to level 9 here, we get ourselves the Spirit Session Blight, which can give us the Blade spell. And we get some level 5 spells. So things like Hold Monster are very beneficial, as well as Planar Binding, so you can go with which one of these you prefer. Once we make ourselves a level 10, this increases our Bardic Inspiration to a 1d10. We also get to choose 2 skills, and again, Intimidation and Persuasion being 2 very useful ones. We get ourselves another cantrip here, so we can go with something like, I guess, Friends, which is useful. We get another choice in spell, which Dominate Person or Planar Binding can also be nice. And we get to choose our Magical Secrets. Now, there's a lot of different spells here, and if you got Mistress Spells, this really opens things up even further. Tidal Wave plus Cone of Cold is 2 good options. We can also go with Hunger of Hadar if you want to have a concentration on that. Spirit Guardians being another really nice one. We can even go with like If you wanted to go down into some of the other spells, we got Steel Wind Strike if you got Mistress spells, which is very powerful. Now, the best, most powerful, Conjure Elemental with Cone of Cold. This can set up a water. This can deal double damage for 128 damage. So if you want to maximize damage, it's these two. Banishing Smite's also nice. We can't really take Blight because we already got an option to get Blight. There's nothing else that really fits super thematically unless we wanted to grab like a cantrip, which I wouldn't recommend. Steel Wind Strike being nice. Macabre Explosion can also be pretty good. Infernal Calling as well, but I think the best, if you want to maximize our damage potential, it's Cone of Cold and Conjure Elemental, without a doubt. It's pretty crazy, that combination. At level 11, we got ourselves level 6 spells, so this now allows us to take Eye Bite or Otto's Irresistible Dance. We're going to go with Eye Bite to make someone go to sleep, which is actually really effective. At level 12, this is when we get to choose another spell, so we can take Otto's Irresistible Dance, and then go with another dexterity, either dexterity improvement, alert for the +5 to initiative, and if you really want to, Spell Sniper to give us Eldritch Blast. Going with the Warcaster will give us advantage on saving throws to hold concentration, but we can get that through items. Also going with something like Savage Attacker. If we wanted to attack, we re-roll our damage die. Now, I do think Alert or a Dexterity Improvement is our best choice, so we're going to go with a Dexterity Improvement for better armor class and initiative. Now, once we make our way to level 13, we also get the Spirit Sessions Contagion, which allows us to cast that spell there. And we don't get any higher level spell selection, so there's nothing super desperate that we do need to get. Rattle from Psychic Lance and Synaptic Static can be good ones from Mistress spells if you got that. I would highly recommend that because the psychic damage is very powerful. Now at level 14, we get the Mystic Connection, calling the spirits to tell a specific tale through you. So you now get to choose which one of these you get. And we get to choose 2 spells here, so we can go with Rattle from Psychic Lance. There's really no other spells that we desperately need. Discordant Melody can work. Again, recommend taking whatever of these spells you prefer. We already got everything that we need in this. And at level 15, we can get to choose the Improved Mythical Connection, so we can go with that there. And then our Bardic Inspiration increases to a 1d12. We'll just take Planar Binding there. We got pretty much everything we need out of the Bard at this point, so we're actually just going to multi-class. The Warlock's an option because this will give you Warlock spell slots up to level 3, which can be useful as this can give us things like Fireball if we take the Fiend Warlock. However, I think the Paladin's a better choice, and we can go with the Oath of Vengeance. This will give us the Inquisitor's Might, which gives us the ability to daze a target, which makes it easier for us to land Hold Person and Command. And it's also, this is a Charisma-based class, so our command spell is going to hit a lot more likely. We also get a Fighting Style, so we can take our defense here for +1 armor class, although Dueling can be nice to increase our overall damage. Now we get to prepare a lot of spells, so we'll take all the Smites. You may not want to use them too often because these ones do take up your bonus action as well. Bless is also another option there. You can also go with something like the Cure Wounds. So the big thing being our Divine Smite that we now have, and once we make it to level 5, we get an extra attack. This gives us, so that we don't get affected by disease, we get Vote of Enmity, which we can apply to ourselves and give ourselves that advantage on attack rolls. And then we also get the Oath spells with Hunter's Mark and Bane, not to be confused with Batman's Enemy. Now, once we get to level 4, we get ourselves another spell. Really just let it take whatever you want. There's nothing here that we don't really, there's nothing there we really need. We can go with an ability score improvement and take up dexterity and max it out. And we're going to use dexterity-based weapons for the most part. But at level 5, we get our extra attack. We also get ourselves the Misty Step spell. And now we can swap out some of these spells for higher levels. So we can go with like a Branding Smite, Aid, Lesser Restoration, just giving us a bit more of a healing roll. So now I will cover the gear for this build. So we can actually get a very high armor class of 29. This is from using the Armor of Agility. There's also gloves that can give us an increased armor class to make it 30. I'm going with Cloak of Protection, Hood of the Weave for the +2 to spell save DC, Helldesk Gloves for additional fire damage and spell save DC, which just further enhance our spells, and Evasive Shoes for the armor class, as well as the Ring of Protection, and the Killer Sweetheart for that free crit, and the Amulet of Greater Health to give us 228 health. Now, the Infernal Rapier is actually a really nice weapon here because this benefits our spell casting and use our spell casting ability modifier for attack rolls, and we get a free Cambion, which can help out a lot in combat. And pair this with Viconia's Walking Fortress, we're in for a good time. This is using the Armor of Agility. However, we don't actually have to use the Armor of Agility. I think that the best option is actually sacrificing a bit of that for the Ballast Armor. This will give us 26 armor class, but we apply vulnerability to piercing damage so that we can deal double damage with our Infernal Rapier, which is really strong. So we're going to roll with that, although the armor of agility works great too. Or if you got the Anti, any type of medium armor can work well here. It's just about whatever you got available. So if you're late in the game, there's a lot of great resources. Even the Hellisk armor can work here. But I'll show off what this means and what it looks like in actual combat. I guess first I'll show off the Tales of the Beyond. So we got the option here to actually choose the one. So this can give us a plus bonus to intelligence, wisdom, and charisma checks. This can make it so that you channel the spirit of your renowned duelist to attack your target. We also got ourselves the Tale of Beloved Friends, giving 2 allies 1d12 of health. This means you just get a free attack for a bonus action, which is nice. Tales of the Runaway, 5 abilities. 5 allies' ability to teleport as a bonus action. We got the Tale of the Avenger. You can choose an ally. Any attacker that hits a target takes 1d12 of force damage. The Tale of the Traveler. You can give an ally 27 temporary health points, 3 additional movement speed, and a +1 armor class. Tale of the Beguiler. Here you can attack a target's mind and make it unable to act. The Tale of the Phantom. You can make an ally invisible. If it attacks while invisible, it deals an additional d12 necrotic damage with attacks and frightens the target. We also have the Tale of the Brood. Knock an enemy prone with their attacks. Tale of the Dragon gives them a free casting of the Dragon Breath. Tale of the Angel. You can cure an enemy from, or cure a teammate from poison, paralysis, petrification, or blindness. And the Tale of the Mindbreaker. You can invoke an incomprehensible fate from an otherworldly being and stun the target. It's pretty deep. So I guess we'll just go ahead here and start things off. Now, Vow of Enmity we can apply to ourselves. This doesn't require a bonus action, so or doesn't require a concentration. So we can use this to just start combat off. This will give us advantage on attack rolls for 10 turns. And not a lot of people know this, but you can actually just cast that before you can actually just cast that right before combat on yourself, and it'll give you that advantage on attack rolls, which is really nice. So I guess now we'll get into an actual combat encounter. We got ourselves some pretty strong spells to start off with, and I think the best thing to just go at here, we'll just go with like a Synaptic Static and hit a large group of enemies here, dealing additional psychic damage. Boom, getting things started off with a bang with some lightning going on there. So that just used up one of our actions. We can go around Divine Smite 2 targets, but we can also go with some very fun spells like Confusion. So Confusion is going to be great because we can use this to crowd control multiple targets. So we'll drop this down, and then we now have multiple there. Casted Fail counter spell, and we'll just use Sonic Backlash against them, which took them out. Probably better to let them live because that extra ability is really strong. And then we'll go with an improved Mystical Connection here, and we can give ourselves a extra attack. So boom, this gives us the attack. We can go ahead there, and I don't have the I don't have the ability to use it. 2d12 plus 5 force damage, pretty strong. We also got our, for some reason it didn't use up that bonus action. We got the Tales of Beyond, so I'll just use a random one on myself, and that brought in more enemies for some reason. Wild Magic Surge. You give an ally 27 temporary health points, so that's pretty nice. This does require an action, +1 armor class. Extra health would have been nice there. I even forgot to bring in our Conjure Elemental, so that's a big oopsie. I guess we can just go ahead here with the free casting. So I don't know what's going on there. We'll just skip that because last time I tried to do that, it made a big mess, so I don't want to have that happen. But with this, we got a lot of crowd control between the different Bard spells, and that's really where we excel. We do get an extra, we get extra options because we have a Divine Smite and extra attack. So this is just nice because we got so many different ways to go about doing combat. So we can use the Tale of the Traveler to give ourselves that increased movement speed and armor class and temporary health, but I think that the best option here is actually just to go out with our damaging spells. So we got a lot of options here. We got like a Thunder Wave, Cone of Cold is a big one, and Conjure Elemental, which is really nice. So I'm just going to use my free cast here because I forgot to summon this in. It's kind of a bad idea to do it in combat, but what's nice about the Water Elemental, I wish it had the same initiative as me, is it can create water in a huge area, and then we can go with Cone of Cold and blast them with that. So that makes this very strong. As you can see there, it took out multiple targets. Cone of Cold is just a strong spell in general. I know I love that spell, but it is strong, so that's the reason that it's used. And I guess now we just got ourselves a bonus action, so we can only use the improved Mystical Connection ones per short rest. So we'll just give ourselves another Tale of the Beyond just for the fun of it, just to show off what the randomness of this class can do. And bonk. You can channel the Renowned Duelist to attack your target. So yeah, we got our attack back. I guess I'll use that next turn. But yeah, it's pretty strong. So I'm just going to try and spread our characters out because volleys are very common here. Typically you want to spread out as much as possible because there's people that are going to hit multiple attacks on you like Fireball or Volley. So you want to prevent that from happening as much as possible. And yeah, I also got, we have 2 summons here, which is nice if you're doing like a lone wolf build, because that can at least give you something to grab aggro with. These don't have the most health, like 82 and 127, not crazy amount, but they take aggro away from you, and that's where they bring their most benefits. So with our water elemental, the one that we want to be using is the healing vapors. This does heal all targets, which can be a little bit annoying because this is going to restore health to some of them. However, it's not a lot of health, and it's outweighed by how much extra damage you're going to deal because of Cone of Cold now dealing double the damage, which it's really crazy. Also, if you have a sorcerer with chain lightning, that's going to double their damage there, so you can actually be very effective for a team. That's why going with the water elementals is really nice. That was scary. We almost got pushed to our death. So for some reason, they didn't get affected with wet. I don't know what's going on with that, but we can also just use our melee attacks because we got so many good ones. And Divine Smite's going to be our big damage dealer, so you can also upcast it because we got the spell slots to do it, so you can actually hit very hard. We got the advantage on our attacks. We rolled a critical hit, so goodbye to them. And we'll just go around the block doing our critical hits on them because, yeah, it hits really hard. We don't need to hit a critical on everybody because they're mostly going to be taking themselves out. This is going to be the next free crit, boom, and that deals damage to that target. Then we got our free Tale of the Renowned Duelist, so I may as well just use this. The force damage is nice, and bonk. That does use up our action, unfortunately, and you don't get an extra attack with it. That's the only really big downside to it. And I'll use the Tales of the Beyond so you guys can see another random effect. So this is nice because you want to use this on your teammates. You can give an ally 12 temporary health. It says 1d12, but it ends up being 12 temporary health because it would suck to just use that and get 1 health. So the extra 12 health can be kind of nice. Now, won't get fooled again. I'm not going to drop that down, but we can go ahead with creating some ice for our targets here. So we'll just go with try not to hit my own character here, drop the ice from this guy, and miss every single one of those as per usual. So that's unfortunate, but we do got a lot of other ways that we can deal damage ourselves. We're just going to use these mostly for tanking. So again, we'll try and drop this down on them, because this ice is nice for the crowd control that it brings, because then you can make those ice surfaces, they slip and fall, lose their turns, and that's just a huge benefit for you. Unfortunately, we lost our Cambion. That's unfortunate, but we're going to get them all grouped up right in front of us so that we can drop some Divine Smites on the heads. So, yeah, unless we get that hit us, we got Psionic Dominance, so we can stop that, thankfully, because Command is a very annoying spell, which can affect anyone that's not high in their own wisdom stat. So these are some prime targets. Anyone that's got full health is going to get the full wrath of a Divine Smite upcasted. Unfortunately, Divine Smite only scales up to level 4 spells, so anything beyond that's actually just going to be a waste of your spell slots because it doesn't actually give it any extra damage. I guess these mods, I guess with mods you can actually get that a little bit higher, 5d8, 88, 98, and 10d8. So you could, I guess, hypothetically go up that high, but we're just going to go here. We'll do a level 4 spell on this one. It should definitely hit. And then this target's reduced in health a bit so that we can just go ahead with another Divine Smite and go at level 3 this time. This will take them out. Divine Smite's huge. I know it's not really part of the College of Spirits bards, but hey, it's a powerful charisma-based attack, so we can roll with that. And I guess we'll go with a, I'll try to line this up so that we can blast multiple targets with our Cone of Cold. I guess we can only get 2 of them there. That took out both of them. That's perfect. And then that target took damage as well. So we could just drop the Hunter's Mark on them. I'm just going to go with another Tales of Beyond just to give you guys an idea of what randomness you can get from this. I love that it's called a Wild Magic Surge. Oh, we got the temporary health again. Cool. And there's 1 target left. He walked on the ice. That was a risky call. But we'll just charm him there so he can't actually deal with us now. And then we're just going to take him out. And we're just going to go boop, boop, boop. Drop the ice again and miss 3 of them in a row and just hit the random pedestrian in the background. I accidentally skipped my turn. Oops. And he didn't slip on the ice. And try again. Miss, miss, miss. Of course. And take out a random pedestrian. Not going to skip my turn. Oh, I lost my turn because I lost my haste. Of course. That's just how it works around here. Surely, 3rd time's a charm. We'll see if we can actually land one of these. And triple miss again. Lovely. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. And I guess we'll just end things off with a Rhythm Psychic Lance. It's going to blast and definitely take him out. So there is the College of Spirits Bard in Baldur's Gate 3. Very powerful, and mixing in the Oathbreaker, or the Paladin. You could even go with Oathbreaker, but the Vengeance Paladin just fits perfectly here. So let me know your favorite thing about this build guide. Shouts out to Ellipsoid314 for making this awesome mod, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed.